About 7 years ago, I received an unexpected invitation to attend my cousin's dinner party. I had never met my cousin before and had only spoken to him on the phone a few times. The sudden invitation from his family after all these years caught me by surprise. The invitation included an address that was not recognized by my GPS. Determined to attend, I used a physical map and pinned the location. As I drove, I couldn't help but notice how far I had ventured from civilization. Trees stretched endlessly on either side of the road, interspersed with the occasional farm. Where the heck am I going? I wondered aloud. After what felt like an eternity, I finally found an address that seemed to match the one on the invitation. As I approached the house, I noticed how dull and dreary it appeared, completely enveloped in leaves and branches. This can't be it, I muttered to myself. As soon as I entered the rocky driveway, my aunt and uncle emerged to greet me. They seemed genuinely excited and welcoming. As we walked into the house, I asked about my cousin. Without hesitation, they replied, "He went to run a few errands. He should be back later." We spent the next couple of hours chatting about my mother and our family. My aunt prepared a delicious homemade pot roast that I devoured within minutes. After dinner, we played an intense game of Uno, which turned out to be surprisingly fun and competitive. As we finished our game, I realized it was almost dark, and there was still no sign of my cousin. Regardless, I needed to leave. Navigating out of this remote area in the dark would be challenging, especially since my GPS was useless. I asked my aunt and uncle for the most efficient route to the highway. They exchanged puzzled looks. "I thought you were staying the night?" my aunt asked. "I can't," I replied. "I have work tomorrow and can't afford to miss another day." "It's much better if you leave tomorrow morning," my uncle insisted. "Trust me, you'll get lost in the dark." I shrugged off their concerns and assured them, "Don't worry, I'm an adept navigator. I could find my way out of the Sahara Desert." My aunt and uncle's expressions turned serious, and they strongly advised me to stay the night for my own safety. Their insistence was starting to irritate me. With a sigh, I conceded, "Fine, I'll stay the night, but I have to leave early for work." They seemed oddly ecstatic that I agreed to stay. As soon as they left to fetch bed sheets and pillows, I seized the opportunity and bolted out the door, jumping into my car and hastily pulling out of the driveway. It took me a while, but I eventually found my way out of that depressing place. I arrived home an hour later than expected. It was 11 p.m., and I didn't want to wake my parents. Climbing the fence and entering through the back door, I noticed the kitchen lights were on. As soon as I stepped inside, I saw my mom sitting there, looking impatient. "Where were you?" she demanded. "I was at Aunt Deborah's," I replied. "You knew this. Then why did she call saying you never arrived?" To this day, I have no idea who I visited that night.